So taking the concrete example of our homepage, which is our first epic. So we have the header and the footer marked here, which we will start with, and then the content. And let's start with a recap of the header and the footer, which we will create as a partial design. So I have here the version of the desktop appearance and the mobile appearance, so they are quite similar. Beside that, the mobile one hides the navigation under some kind of burger toggle, but still there's the company logo, and then there is this link list showing the different social media channels that are linked. And as I said, we can reuse then the navigation component here as well, to put either the navigation on desktop directly in the header or hide it behind a burger toggle. So so that will be our job. So let's do that. So under the presentation node of our site that we freshly created, we find the page and partial designs. So we want to create a header. What is there out of the box is an empty partial design. I think it doesn't contain anything. Mark, do you know?
No, I don't think it only contains a placeholder.
Yeah, so it's a generic partial design to start from. But what is more important is the metadata partial design, which consists or contains already meta renderings that have the functionality to render the meta tags and all the social tagging and all that stuff to utilize the features that come out of the box with SXA. So we are creating a new partial design, just like anything in SXA, using the insert option, and we just call it header. Oh, I think we said we want to structure it a bit. So let's create a design folder, partial design folder first, and call it common. And then we put a partial design in called header. And now we want to design the header partial design. So we go to Experience Editor. And as you can see, we have now 3 placeholders available. So the reason, or just that we called it header doesn't, I mean, Sitecore doesn't know that we want to create a header partial design. So that's why we always get offered the standard placeholders that SXA offers. But we make it a header partial design that when we just fill the header placeholder with it. And as we're going for a multi-site and multilingual implementation, we should also switch from the final layout to the shared layout, so that our layout that we create here is also available in other language versions.
That's a good catch.
Yeah. So then we have, let's start with the logo image. We have 2 image renderings out of the box available, the image and the image reusable. They are exactly the same, beside that one is creating a data source automatically, and the other one is creating a data source that can be reused because it's created under the site data folder in the image folder. So I think I would go for the reusable one and just drag and drop it to my header. So you see this little pulse, and as this is a fresh instance, not all caches are filled already. And now we are able to create a data source for our logo image. So let's call it logo, and you can see it's created under images directly. So, or let's create maybe an image folder first for header. Okay, and then let's create the image logo data source. Okay.
Yeah, and just to add that we're now creating just the data source itself, right? We're not creating the image asset itself.
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see, every component fills up 100% of its placeholder. That's how all the components are built. And we can define now how it should behave on different devices or different screen resolutions. So we have 5 different screen resolutions defined here with different breakpoints. And the top one always inherits to the other ones until the point I adjust that. So for compact phones, I think from the design, I remember that the logo takes half of the width. And then for tablets, I think it took 3 columns. And starting from laptops, it took only 2 columns. So let's try it with that. As we define it centrally, we can also adjust that later. But let's do it like that for the moment and hit OK. So here's our image. And now let's add a navigation. So navigation comes also out of the box. Let's drag and drop it. And we can use this little arrow to position it correctly. So we want to put it in the header partial design, sorry, in the header placeholder on the second position, giving us the pulse that it's loading. By the way, if you don't see that pulse, probably you have to redo the action and it won't come up again. So this is not the appearance that we want to have for the navigation. Also, we want to have it just smaller. So let's say for laptops, we want to have it just, let's say 6 columns. And let's go to the navigation settings itself. I think one important one is the navigation filter that comes out of the box. So we can use filters. So if we have pages on, let's say, first level of our hierarchy of the content, we still might not want to see all those pages, like a 404 page or a search results page are good candidates to hide from a main navigation. So if we apply the main navigation filter here, we can use that filter later on to keep those pages out of the navigation. Anything else to set? Probably the styles. There are some styles already, and I think we want to have the main navigation with the horizontal drop down.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Let's try this. And yeah, this looks already like a navigation. And I think there was a certain link list. So let's add this one as well. And create the link list and say this is our header social, or let's call the folder header, and then add a link list here, which is called social links. Okay. And also we design it a bit smaller. So it takes up maybe 4 columns in mobile, but for laptops, it just takes, I don't know, 2. Okay. And I think we could already add for the mobile purposes the toggle.
Yeah.
Where do I find this one? So this in page structure, we find a toggle component. So the toggle is just that it adds on click, it adds another placeholder, or it shows another placeholder, so we can put in the navigation later on. So let's place it here. Last position, create a header folder, and add create the toggle, which is the burger navigation. And we'll give it just a width of 1 for compact phones. And usually we would want to hide it for desktop devices, or yeah, for everything starting with laptop, I think, because also the tablet uses this navigation. But if we hide it for desktops, it will not be shown here in the Experience Editor unless we shrink the Experience Editor to a size where this is shown again. And therefore, for now, I would keep it visible just with the size of 1 column, so that we can add the mobile navigation. And then we take it out later and configure it correctly. So here we go. And if we toggle it, you see there's a navigation. So let's drop another navigation in there. And let's see if we find something more mobile styled. So there's something called mobile navigation. Let's also apply the navigation filter. And I think we are set. So from, yeah.
So given that we now have this mobile navigation in this toggle, do we want to hide our main navigation, our other main navigation then from a mobile device?
Yeah, good point. Let's also do that directly. So let's say we go to the advanced tab and say for compact phones, we don't want to have a visibility, but starting for laptops, we want to have it, I don't know, inline block.
I would go with inline probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so no change. And as we have that also already, I think we can also hide it for now so that we see the effect. So for compact phones, it will be visible, but starting for tablets, we will have no visibility.
You've now selected laptop, sorry.
That should be fine, right? The visibility none.
Oh yeah, you want to show it on tablets. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it will be gone now. Let's quickly save whatever we've done, and if we would shrink the design, the page, then this will appear, and we have the mobile navigation. And of course, we have to style the toggle so it looks like a burger. But let's do that later. Okay, this is our navigation for now. Our header for now. Cool. So next we want to care about the footer. So the footer consists more or less or has a 4-column layout. We have the company address or company contact data. We have 2 link lists, and then we have the newsletter subscription element here, or the newsletter subscription form. So all this again can be done using out-of-the-box component. We have to check the newsletter subscription, but yeah, let's see. And on the mobile navigation, the mobile footer, it's also not much of a difference beside that all the columns that we've seen on desktop are just stacked underneath each other. So this we can easily achieve with Bootstrap grid functionality. So there's also not anything to implement. So let's also do that. So let's create the footer. Again, in our site, we have the presentation node that contains our partial designs, and we have already created a header partial design. So let's also create a footer partial design. Call it footer and open it up in Experience Editor. So again, we have those 3 placeholders. Remember, we wanted to create a multilingual site, so that's why we maintain our design in a shared layout. And we will only fill up the footer placeholder. So we have this 4-column layout. So the first one was more or less a rich text. So in page content, we have a rich text component, and let's make this also a reusable rich text component and put it in the footer. So I will create a folder first, calling it footer. Okay, and then place in my text, which is, let's say, company address. Okay. Here we go. We make it already a bit smaller. So for compact phones, full size is fine, but for laptops, we want to have 4 equally sized columns for now. So let's give it a width of 3. And then we have 2 link lists. So the link lists are here. Let's add this one here and create another linked list folder called footer. Okay, and create and call this, I don't know, footer linked list 1. Make it small again. tablets, no, not tablets, but laptops, 3. Okay. And add another link list.
So Sebastian, did you know that if you would add this link list before the link list you just added, it will inherit all its properties?
No, I didn't know. So
Well,
let's
let's try
that.
it. So add the link list just before the one.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then create a new data source.
Wow. That actually saves time.
Yeah, we now just need to move it because it was the second link list, right?
Yeah. Let's move it with drag and drop. And here we go. I hope this is the right one. So that should also work for the rich text, right?
Correct.
So cool. Let's make a rich text reusable. Add it here and say this is our newsletter introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that is awesome. So there we go. We could already provide some text so that this is can be also seen, not just as empty renderings. So that's company, and then address, phone. We can add the content later.
Yeah.
And we have.
I think the left link list is called useful links.
Yes, thanks. Useful links. And then the other one is our services.
Yes.
And let's just add the first link here.
That will be home.
Link description home. Link is already correct. And the other one would be?
Web design.
Okay. We don't have a page yet, so let's keep it like that. By the way, if you want to add more, just click the plus here and, well, yeah, let's save it first. Click the plus. What would be the second? Web development?
Yes, correct.
Oh, it seems to be a web development company, wondering why they are not doing it themselves. And
fair point. It's probably with the fact that if you are a web company, you never have time to do your own projects, right?
Yeah,
because you're busy doing client projects.
true. And let's add also some headline here, join our newsletter, then lorem. Accept. So we've placed everything, so it's good to go for editing content, I would say. Let's save it again. And now we can assemble our first page design. Going back to...
Don't we want to add our copyright notice to the footer?
I forgot that. Yeah, you're right. Going back here, I actually, yeah, maybe it would have made sense to use a row splitter. So let's do that. And then we stack these 4 components into the first row and then the other one into the next row.
Yeah.
Which again can be easily done by just drag and drop it. First one.
Don't you love it, the drag and drop within the Experience Editor?
Yeah, and it's working really smooth.
Yeah. And it saves so much time.
Yeah. I mean, you could also use this one. Let's try out this one now. But is that the right move here? Yeah, it is. Okay.
You're lucky.
So, and then we have the copyright text. And what else do we have? We have another social links.
Yeah.
So let's add the copyright text. first to the footer. Copyright text. Okay. Let's make it also a bit smaller. For laptops, we make it like half width. Okay. And then let's add the link list again.
Yeah, perhaps we can reuse data sources now.
True, because we will create that already. Footer row 2, here's the right one. And we wanted to reuse, so let's take it from the header and say OK, and also make it not for tablets but laptops half width for now. So we'll take care about this later. So let's put here some text already. Copyright. And yeah, I think for the date we can use tokens later.
Yeah.
But let's leave it for now like that. So save it again. But now we create the page designs. If you're fine with that.
Yeah, perhaps we can show them that you can also build page designs using the Experience Editor itself, using the toolbar.
True. So page design, insert a page design. By the way,
Yep.
we could have created also the partial designs from here. So you do not have to leave the Experience Editor in most of the cases. So this is really everything under Experience Accelerator, gives access to a lot of features directly from here. But let's create another page design. So we need a homepage page design.
Yep.
Home. Okay. And now we can add the partial designs. We need a header, a footer, and metadata. One remark here: you can sort them as long as those partial designs just live in one placeholder. Like the header lives in header, the footer lives in the footer, and metadata lives in a placeholder that we can't see here in this layout. That's all fine. But from the moment you share placeholders with different partial designs, the order matters. So then you would rather make the metadata on the very top and then have the header and footer and so on. So not necessary for our case, but if you share placeholders, placeholders, for example, in main, then you want to make sure that the order is correct because it will display in the order that you've selected. Cool. That's done. And I think we're done for now.
I think we need to hit the save button.
Oh, you're right.
Just to make sure that our page design is being saved.
Yeah, let's check. We have a home page design, and here's our the selected partial designs. So what we can make directly is we can assign this design to our pages. So let's say our home page should use the home design, and the page should use the maybe the default design, but therefore we also have to use our new placeholders, footer, header, and I think we can remove the empty and save it.
Yep.
Cool. Let's have a look to our homepage, how it looks now.
And there it is.
There it is, right. So we have the structure already in a wireframe design. So content editors could start doing the website.